Have you always wanted to start your own YouTube channel? Because that's something I always thought about, and that's something I actually did. But it's something that is not as easy as we might think, and it's something that some people overlook as far as some factors of starting a channel, such as where am I going with it? Am I going to pursue it long term? What kind of content am I gonna make? Some people just throw up one video or a couple of videos and be done with it, and they leave their channel, don't do any marketing whatsoever, and then they still have that lofty dream of like, I'm gonna be a YouTuber or I'm gonna be a content creator. Well, it doesn't happen that easy. And today's guest on the show is the perfect example of a hardworking student who has pushed herself to a whole new level of content creation. And it's something that's actually very admirable in a student, especially who wants to go out into the world and make something of themselves and get that resume going, get a job, right? And so our guest today, Rachel Seo, is one of a kind. She is a hardworking student. She's constantly making videos, and she is a YouTuber who you might know of if you've heard of UCSD or if you searched on YouTube. You'll probably find her. I actually just did earlier today. UCSD. That's all you need to type in, and she's second on the list, which is quite amazing. She has almost 3,000 subscribers on her channel, which is again very amazing. But she didn't get there right away. And so today on the show, we're going to talk about how we can navigate the YouTube space. But before we get into that, let's roll that intro.
This is the Film Fraternity Podcast, a show that's all about filmmaking in college, so you can turn your student projects into powerful portfolios. And now, here's the host of Film Frat House, Zach Sabo.
All right. This is episode 22 of the Film Frat Podcast. I hope you're doing well. Again, if you're watching the video version, I'm in my home studio, quote unquote. And it's because of the coronavirus is still, floating around somewhere. And so we can't quite go outside and go talk to people as we do on a daily basis, at least at work and at school, because everything is done remotely right now. So again, if you're watching this, you'll see that our guest today and I were sitting in the studio, and we shot this about 2 months ago. So this was before all of the coronavirus thing actually happened and the whole mandate was put in place to stay at home in California. So be aware of that. But other than that, I hope you really enjoyed this episode because it's one that I actually found really interesting for me as a content creator, as a filmmaker. It's really important to understand marketing and where you want to go with your content. And Rachel really gets into that in her conversation with me. It was really interesting to get to know about what her focus is on her videos. It's pretty clear, actually. It's very clear. She makes videos about UCSD, and she's a college vlogging person, and she has a college vlogging channel. So she does document her life at UCSD, as well as make some videos about pros and cons about UCSD. What are the colleges like? What can you expect out of the dining halls? All that kind of stuff. So it's a really niche audience, and I think the niches are where content creation is going. So it's really important to be aware of what kind of audience you're making your videos for, because you don't want to make it too broad of an audience. You want to hit that niche where it hasn't been quite tapped into yet. And I think Rachel has done that quite well. And there are a few other channels out there that do UCSD videos and college blogging channels as well. That's why they're a category or a sub-niche. But specifically, college-specific channels are a great way of finding that niche audience. And so I think that was a very smart thing. And we get into how we can make certain kinds of content based on what niche we want to tap into. And so it's not just about ones that already exist, but how can we find others that maybe haven't been tapped into? So, all right, and without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Remember that you can find the video version of this podcast over at patreon.com/filmfrat. You'll get access to the full library of video versions of the podcast, as well as updates to new podcasts that come out. I release them now every 2 weeks. Again, thank you for being a supporter of the show. Just by listening, you guys have shown that you care about this podcast. So thank you so much for giving me time out of your day. So it means a lot to me. And please share this with friends, with other student filmmakers, with other YouTubers, content creators who need to hear this message, because I think it's really important. And here we go. Rachel Seo, who is a fellow 6th college student just like me. And I hope you guys really enjoy it. She gets into YouTube and the algorithm a little bit, keywords, topics for videos, the titles, the thumbnails. There's so much stuff. So keep listening, take some notes. Here we go. This is Rachel Seo.
All right, Rachel Seo is in the house. How are you, Rachel?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. All right. It's good to interview another student at UCSD, and I'm really proud that we have such talented students like you. So.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor. So because you have your own YouTube channel, and it's been pretty successful, and I wanted to talk about that. But first, I wanted to get to know you a little bit more. How did you even get started? And let me actually go back to the beginning before you arrived at UCSD. What made you want to come here in the first place?
I just applied to a bunch of schools, and we looked at my options, and we're like, okay, I feel like UCSD would be the best fit for you, just location wise, and also just that was just it just seemed like a lot of things and factors aligned, and that was why I ultimately ended up coming here. And
Okay.
in the end, I'm really glad that I did, because I feel like I've grown a lot here and met a lot of really cool people and
Nice.
seen the world a little bit more, just a little bit.
I mean, as far as the weather, let's face it, this is paradise.
It really
a
is.
beautiful place.
Yeah, no, totally. I feel like San Diego, the weather's 70 degrees year round. The beach is super close, even though nobody who lives here actually goes to the beach.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good restaurants and really good Mexican food, which is definitely a plus. So.
Tacos El Gordo.
Yes.
Anybody?
Oh my
anyway.
gosh. Tacos El Gordo.
Or the taco stand.
Yeah.
All those. Anyway.
No,
We're getting
totally.
off track already. But so what did you want to even get into that made you choose San Diego? What was your field of study that kind of interested you?
So my major is literature and writing, and so since I was 8 years old, I've really always loved to write stories and read books and stuff. So I was homeschooled from 2nd until 8th grade, and so that really gave me a lot of time to just explore and figure out what I love to do. And in the end, I just kind of read and wrote a lot. And then kind of my interest in digital media and social media came a little bit later, when I in middle school and high school, which is when everything kind of started popping up and becoming more popular, I guess. And so seeing other people make videos on the internet just really inspired me to kind of go out and try to make my own. So it was really just, it's an exploring thing, because I want to be have diverse interests, so not just stuck with sticking my nose in a book the entire time, but also just kind of seeing what the rest of the world is about. So
Nice. And how has the program treated you as far as literature and creative writing goes? Have you learned a lot out of it, and that kind of helped you into your side hustles, so to speak?
I think it has. I think it's really helped me kind of read a lot of different things that I would not normally choose for myself. And I think one of a couple of the professors that I've had have really helped me grow in analyzing literature and in writing good papers and thinking critically, and also just just looking at different literary traditions and seeing how they have shaped history, and also how that ties into the whole idea of storytelling, which is something that I love, and that it comes out in different areas, so in writing and also in YouTube. So I think it's definitely helped me grow in that way, just kind of in an abstract way. No direct correlation, but
okay, no, that's cool. And are you more gravitating towards fiction or nonfiction in general when you're writing things?
definitely fiction. Although been reading more nonfiction lately just for fun, and I think nonfiction's super cool because it's like a concrete way to like learn about the world. But yeah, definitely fiction for my own personal writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I guess we'll get into the main topic a little bit. How did you decide that you wanted to go into YouTube, and when did that channel even start in the first place? Like even the notion that you even wanted to make videos.
Yeah. So I think I've always been interested in making videos from when I was like in middle school, but I didn't really have the resources or like the capability to do it. I remember when I was like in middle school and stuff, I like used like my really tiny like iPhone or whatever to like try to film videos, and then I put them into Windows Live Movie Maker.
Oh my god.
Did you ever use that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I so use Movie Maker.
It was, I think I probably still have those videos like in Google Drive somewhere, but that was like the very beginning, and they were just so bad that like I would like try to make them and then I'd like get discouraged because they would just be really bad. And then I would like kind of watch more YouTube and then like start it up again. And so I think I started, and then I made my YouTube channel when I was in high school, and I like put videos up, but they were so awful that I like, they're not there. I have them somewhere, but like they're not available for public viewing.
Oh, okay.
I feel like there's a lot of people who have like stories like that where they had YouTube channels in high school, but it's like super cringy.
Yeah.
And then I asked my parents for a camera at some point during senior year of high school, and they gave it to me like literally the day that I graduated from high school. And at that point I'd kind of figured out like this is kind of how I want to try editing my videos. I had iMovie now, so that was like a step up from Windows Movie Maker. And yeah, that was just kind of that was how it all started. I just started making right after I graduated from high school.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when you arrived at UCSD, what did you want to do with that channel? Did you have any plans in your first year to like start making new videos on that channel, or when did that kind of evolve?
Yeah.
Like, what was the turning point is what I'm asking.
Yeah. So I think I was just trying to vlog because I knew that like in the future, like my YouTube channel and my videos that I made would be really good for me to just like look back on and see like, oh, like look at little me, like I was freshman year of college. So in the beginning, like if you kind of go back into my channel history, it's mostly just like vlogs and like random stuff because my focus was on recording my life. And then while I was kind of in the summer before I headed off to college, I was looking up UCSD vlogs on YouTube, and I noticed that there weren't that many, and if there were then the people who were uploading them were like not consistent, or like the videos were not very good. And so I was like, you know, like I'm gonna be at UCSD, I'm gonna be making videos every week, because that was kind of what I developed for myself over the summer. And so I was like, you know, we'll just try to make some UCSD videos. And so when college admissions decisions like came around March, I was like starting to make more UCSD videos, and one of the videos that I made, like 5 things you should know about UCSD, got super popular, and I was like, oh, those endorphins, the dopamine hits are getting to me because I'm getting like all these views on these videos. And I also realized that there was a niche there that had been unexplored, and so I was like, I'll just keep on making those videos to get more hits.
Nice. I mean, that's smart. You know, you like target a niche, and like I think that's where we are right now with like content creation, is like you have to find a niche and not just go broad like a lot of people are trying to do. Like, oh, I'm gonna make a general vlog about my life. Well, no, I'm making a vlog about my life at UCSD. Now that's a narrower topic, right?
Yeah.
And you know, did you gain any like inspiration from other people's vlogs?
There was this one YouTube channel that I really liked called Kath in College, and it was about this girl who was like at Stanford, and she was definitely, her videos looked a little bit different from mine because I'm just more like topical, and then at this point I'm more topical, and she did vlogs as well. And she was like really good and created like a whole narrative like with her friends and stuff like that, and I was like, I can't get that fancy, like I can't. But yeah, she definitely inspired me, and I got to intern for her like in her last year of college, which was my freshman year of college, so that was like super cool. And just like all the other college vloggers who have been popping up. I remember I've like watched like Nicholas Che, like Cather Out, like all these other people who have like kind of popped up at around the same time that I did, but maybe like on a grander scale. I think it's super cool that they're also turning something that is like so integral to their life into a way to make money and gain exposure.
And would you classify your vlog as a college vlogging channel, or would it be something else?
It's definitely a college vlogging channel.
Okay, yeah.
I don't really have any other niche that I could like tap into, I feel like, at this point. And that's kind of what people are most interested in and what my audience, I think, has grown to expect from me. So definitely would.
Yeah, and I actually wish I watched some of these videos, you know, when I was looking at options, because I knew kind of what I wanted, but I didn't know about the general feel of campus or what student life was like. So, you know, it's really helpful, is what I'm saying. People are looking for that kind of content.
Yeah,
so.
no, totally. And I mean, something else is that like going in, UCSD like doesn't have like a great reputation among students, and I think that like I got here and I don't know what I was expecting. I don't think I was expecting anything. I just wanted it to be better than high school. And so like I think creating a good experience for myself and really trying to put like optimism and like kind of place responsibility on myself for having like a good experience like wherever you are, and for being, I guess, like content like wherever you are, I think was something that I wanted to convey. Because I was like, life, I don't know what people like when people say like UC is socially dead, like what do they expect their actual lives to like be like at college? It's kind of what you build for yourself. But
yeah, definitely. That's anywhere. You know, you got to be the one to go out and initiate, because you know you can't really expect everyone to come to you. So yeah, that's definitely true. So when you're making your videos, how do you decide on a topic that you're going to come out with? And I'll get into release schedule in a bit, but like just in general, like where do you get your ideas for videos? Just by talking to friends, or like how's that work?
Kind of, although typically I find that if people are like, oh, you should do this video topic, I like don't want to do it. So yeah, and sometimes it like comes from like seeing what other people are posting online, especially like when I'm particularly making a video that I know is going to be targeted towards people who are looking at UCSD or like looking at UCSD videos online, then I'll probably take something that has already been done, because the way that like YouTube's algorithm is set up, it kind of, I think, like magnifies content that is similar to other content, and it's also kind of what other people have been expecting. So I saw like another UCSD pros and cons video, for example, and then that also like inspired me to kind of create my own. So for those specifically targeted videos, then I am like kind of looking towards other places, because I feel like, I don't know, those are definitely more geared towards like giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
And then there are just other videos that I'm like, you know, I really don't know what I'm gonna do, so we're just gonna roll with this and see if the footage is like workable.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things are just vlogs, so it's just kind of whatever happens is what is in the video.
And do you upload on a consistent basis? I assume yes, but like how often, and why is consistency important?
I definitely try to do it every single week. That definitely doesn't happen sometimes.
I feel that. I feel that so much. I was trying to come out with a weekly podcast, and now I kind of missed a couple of weeks, and I feel bad.
Yeah, no, it's really, really hard, but I think consistency is super important, partially because of the YouTube algorithm, which like I'm probably going to be talking about the YouTube algorithm a lot, because that's kind of what governs what happens on YouTube. But like the YouTube algorithm favors videos and creators, quote, like supposedly, nobody really knows what it actually does, but it favors YouTube creators who are consistent and who upload on a weekly basis, or like just some kind of consistency. I think that it's also helpful to be consistent with your video making, because it really teaches you a lot about self-discipline and about creative discipline, and really establishing something for yourself that you promise to yourself that you're going to do no matter what. And I think that that's probably helped a lot, like in terms of like my channel's growth. Because I've tried to be like a consistent person and not just be like have one video on my channel that's like UCSD something and then just like leave it at that for months at a time. I really want to be consistent, and also for resume building and stuff too. If you have a project that you've been doing consistently for several years, then it really looks good. Like when you're interviewing with someone, or when you're even just putting it on your resume, So that's why it's important.
That makes sense, yeah. And how do you market your videos? Do you just, of course you tell your friends about it, you post on social media, but are there any like strategies that you use to like post, again, on a consistent basis, or other outlets? How do you do that?
So I think something that helps me probably even more than social media is YouTube optimization strategies. So you could just like Google it and look up like the best ways to optimize YouTube videos, but something that helps me is first off like titling my video, something that is like a phrase that is like often looked up, so like UCSD day in my life, UCSD day in the life, and then also putting keywords onto things, keywords onto videos. Like there's like a specific section for keywords that will just make it rank higher. And then there's like a lot of other things that you can do, and like putting it into playlists and stuff like that. But I think that's probably what helps me the most, and what has helped me the most, which is like ranking high when people type in UCSD onto the YouTube platform.
And how about thumbnails? Could you talk about that? Because I feel like that's important too. People see an image and they want to click on it because of the picture. Like, of course, the title means a lot too, but do you work on your thumbnails a lot?
I try to. I was like not good at it like in the beginning, because I was like, I don't want to like make things like look too like good or whatever, because I feel like, I don't know, I'm like trying to be authentic or whatever. And then I realized that was like totally like, it's what you need to make your thumbnail look okay in order for people to want to click it. And so I try to make them like visually like look okay. There's not really a specific look that I try to get, but I typically like do the typical pose when I'm making the video where I'm like, oh, this would look like a good shot.
Yeah.
So like I would just like pause for like a few seconds and then screen cap that. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm working on.
Okay. Yeah, and I have one more technical question about YouTube, because like I've managed this one channel on UCSD's campus, the Intermission Orchestra at UCSD. They do like a performance every quarter, and I'm in charge of their video uploads. And like I'm personally interested in like getting reach for that channel, and so like that's why I'm curious about your experience too. And I know I try to make thumbnails and all that, but like I actually wanted to ask about the keyword thing, because I'm hearing like it's a little redundant to add words that are already in the title into the keywords. So do you like make new words in the keyword section, or just something that's relevant? I don't know. How does it differ from like putting in the title versus putting in the keywords?
The way that I do it is that it doesn't differ that much. Like if it's, so like I'll just go into the YouTube search engine, click on the search bar, and then type in UCSD, and whatever the most like popular, whatever the bold words that pop up, I'll put into the keyword. Even if it's not like directly corresponding with my video, I'll just like type in whatever's most popular, because it's like still relevant, and it's still something that I think viewers who are looking for those videos will like want to watch as well. So I think that that's basically what I do.
Okay. So for people who want to start their own channel, what advice would you give them going straight, like fresh on YouTube, like who are just starting, no videos, no channel, no name? What do you have to say to them?
I would say like don't overthink it, because you're not going to get like go viral like within the first video that you post, probably not even like the 100th video that you post, like for some people. I mean, there's exceptions, but everybody always looks at exceptions and are like, oh, maybe I can be the exception, but you're probably not. I think like people who are on YouTube and people who want to do YouTube should just focus on uploading consistently and uploading like quality content, content that actually has like value to the viewer, and like whatever they want to, whatever topic they want to explore. And also just not putting too much pressure on yourself, and you can't expect anything from it, because the truth is that like you probably are not going to get maybe as much like clout or whatever as you want from it, and like you just have to be thankful for, I guess, like what you have. But yeah, just to start off with, just upload videos. Like that's literally the first step, and figure it out from there.
Just go out and shoot it, right? Yeah. Shoot and just keep releasing content like that you are passionate about too, because you got to be into it, right? Because I think what us, especially students, have to deal with is like figuring out what we want to do now and years down the line. So I think people have this pressure, including myself, of like, okay, we're starting this new journey. Can we even see ourselves doing that in the future? Do you have any like fears or like self-doubt that you've experienced while working on your channel? Kind of like that, like where you like, do I really want to do this down the line?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to put too much pressure on it. So I'm like, even if I'm doing this now, like it'll help me get better at something that will potentially be helpful for me down the line. But I definitely have had a lot of like self-doubt and like a lot of things where I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what's going on? What do I want out of this? I think in the end, it's just like, I don't know, whatever happens, and I'm not, since I'm like, I'm like 20 years old, there's like no pressure on me. Like I'm just trying to mess around and take advantage of the freedom that I do have right now while I still have it. Because once I have to start like making money and stuff, like I'm not gonna have the time or the energy or the resources to do what I am right now. So
yeah, this is our time to just experiment and do it, just do what we love. Yeah, see what works. Not saying you should just like create whatever and see what sticks, but actually like do what you love. So that's really cool. And do you actually want to keep this channel going down the line, or is this only like something that you're creating while at UCSD?
We'll see. Not 100% sure.
Graduate school.
A day in the life of a graduate student. I can't.
No. You're not doing grad school?
Probably not not right now. I like need to figure out like what I would want to go to graduate school for if I did. But yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen down the line. I think like in the best case scenario, or like at the very, very least, it's a really, really good resume builder. I've definitely like milked my channel for all it's worth, like in all my interviews and stuff, and like interviewing for internships and whatever. And then the only thing I ever really wanted out of this, like from the very beginning, is just the chance to like record my life as it is right now and to keep it for myself like later on down the line, because I think that'll be super fun to look back on it. And if that's the only purpose, I guess, that it serves in my life, then so be it. I'm happy with that. So
okay, that's cool. And I wanted to say you're a fellow Sixer, right?
Am.
Third year.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, did you live in the res halls first year?
I did not. Okay. I was in overflow at Revelle. So I lived in like the Fleet buildings, the old buildings.
So
that was
Camp
interesting.
Snoopy for you? No Camp Snoopy for you?
Oh, nope. I wasn't in that area, but I did get into the apartments the following year.
Okay.
So that was pretty nice. I liked that a lot. It was just being away from the other side of campus that kind of made it a little hard, but if you have like a bike, it's no big deal. Anyway, you got to know the campus. It's kind of got steep hills and all that, so like a lot of people walk and they're trying to like figure out the walking path versus the biking path, and it's still kind of like not working quite well. But they're trying to fix that problem.
Such is life at UCSD.
It has its benefits. It also has some little things that and it's growing insanely. Like you made a video about 7th College and about a day in the life of the chancellor, which I thought was really cool.
Thank you.
And what is your experience like? Actually, I want to ask, how was your experience with chancellor? It must have been kind of surreal.
It was very interesting. So like I emailed his office like a couple months ago, probably like in December or something, asking him like, oh, can we make a video? And then so we planned it for winter quarters. So like, but then I didn't really think about it until like the day of, and then I was like on the bus and I was like, wait, I'm going to see Chancellor Khosla. That's kind of crazy. So like I went to his office and he was really nice. I think my goal for that video was just to kind of see what he was like as a person, as opposed to like just this figurehead that people like make him out to be and like post about on the meme page and whatever. That was like the goal for the video. So I think it was definitely cool to be able to like talk to him, and then it was also great for like networking and stuff. So that's
definitely
so he was really nice. It was cool. I'm excited for what's going to happen in the future with UCSD because he has a vision. So
nice.
That was cool.
And you got one more year, right? You're doing 4 years? Or?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna graduate early, potentially like this fall, but we'll see.
Cool. So you got some time, a little bit to milk your your channel a bit, have some more ideas.
Can't make videos after.
Yeah. I'm also not sure about grad school, so like it just really depends on the field you're getting into. Because like if you're in med or biology, chemistry, whatever, science, and STEM majors, you know, it's more likely that you're going to end up in grad school.
Yeah.
Just because of the demand and, you know, all that. But for like creative stuff, it's more like whatever you make of it, right?
Yeah,
so
totally.
But not saying that college isn't worth it, because for me, and I'm sure for you, it's been totally worth it, because if you hadn't gone to UCSD, you wouldn't have your channel. So like, there you go. That's a testament to itself. So
you're right.
Yeah. So what are your plans for the future? You know, going post-graduation. Any job ideas, or like what do you want to get into?
At this point, I'm looking to explore the entertainment industry, so potentially getting into like digital marketing, maybe social media content creation in the entertainment industry. But like, I don't really think that I know what I want right now, so I'm just trying to explore a bunch of different things, and we'll see where I end up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Again, college is the time to do that. So
right.
you know, and everyone's probably gone through that. You know, at some point, no one really knows what they're getting into exactly or what job's going to line up, because how many people really have a job that's lined up after graduation? Very few, I think.
Actually, a lot of people, like if you're in the tech world, I have like a lot of friends who literally have jobs like a year in advance.
Oh,
and that
really?
like, freaks me out, because I'm like, I don't think that's how my recruiting cycle would work out.
Seriously?
But,
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, again, I guess it depends on the field you're into.
Yeah, no, totally.
So, last question, what final advice would you have for people who are on YouTube right now and have a channel, and how can they grow their channel by telling their friends about it, but beyond that, like, how can you navigate YouTube successfully, in your opinion?
Well, I feel like you have to figure out what success would mean to you, and whether or not, like, how much you care about certain things over others. But I would just say, like, and this is advice that I kind of tell myself every single time I like sit down. I'm like, okay, I need to make a video this week. Just like keep your head down and keep working, because I think that like things don't come like super crazy big. They come in increments for the most part. And even though YouTube kind of has the perception of like, oh, like viral fame, viral success, whatever, like it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy, and you can't really compare yourself to other people's success. So the best thing that you can do is just work on what you're doing at the moment.
For sure. Thanks, Rachel, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and where can people find you on social media and on YouTube, of course?
Yeah. On my YouTube channel, if you just type in Rachel Seo, or if you type in UCSD, my videos will pop up.
That's pretty awesome. That's awesome.
I think last time I checked, they pop up, so we'll check the SEO on that. But and then on Instagram, my handle is at Rachel Seo. So yeah, if you want to check me out on there, you totally can. Feel free. But yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming on. It was really nice talking to you and meeting another 6 college student and all that. So
yeah.
You know, just building the network, right? That's what it's all about. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I hope you guys really enjoyed that episode of the Film Frat Podcast. Remember, you can find this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find podcasts, where you're probably listening right now. Hit the follow button if you like the show and you want to keep listening, because it means a lot to me. Share the word, spread the word about the show and about this episode specifically, because I found that this episode was very helpful for me. And since YouTube is in our vernacular now, it's very common, and we all have used YouTube at least once in our life, I'm sure. So if you're interested in posting content on social media or anywhere else, I think that what Rachel has been saying was very important for us to understand as content creators and as student filmmakers. So please share this with friends. You can find the video version of this podcast over at patreon.com/filmfrat. And you can also find all of the resources mentioned in this episode over at filmfrat.com/show-notes. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. And as always, I will see you in the next episode in 2 weeks. Remember that you are gifted, you are creative, and you are able. Talk to you later, frat house.
That's all from this episode of the Film Fraternity Podcast. For more filmmaking tips and tricks you can use on your next project, visit www.filmfrat.com. That's FILMFRAT.com.